What up, guys? So I'm gonna be doing a movie review for the film Fate of the Furious, or the eighth installment of the Fast and the Furious franchise. Um, just overall thoughts: entertaining popcorn action movie, but just not the best in the series. Um, that would probably be five. Um, but it had one of the darkest scenes in probably the whole franchise. Um, and yet it didn't feel as heavy or as emotionally as the ending of Fast Seven, or some, or like losing Hans. Um, but it was definitely dark. So spoilers, if I get too spoilery from here on out, just be careful, because I'm just kind of like going through it right now, and I'm sorry. So if you want to come back after you watched it, that's fine. But okay, so the movie opens up, and F. Gary Gray who directed this movie, came from Straight Outta Compton to this one, and like from the opening scene, there's already like an established way they shoot this movie, an established way the comedy and the beats, So there wasn't a lot of work for him to do. It's like landscape shots, car shots, ass shots. Like that's the way they frame women. It's always like that under butt, and then just kind of slow pans through the cars, landscape shots, and then go through one of your side characters for some comedy. And not much change. The formula still works. I mean, I think it's gonna make fucking monster numbers, especially overseas. So, I mean, obviously the formula works. People still like it, and they care for these characters. Um, Even though, I mean, one of the characters people care about the most is no longer with us. Well, the actor isn't, and yeah. So, but I mean, they still make it work, and it like this movie kind of ties them all together. Um, so it's like it opens up in Cuba. Dom's doing Dom things, beating people, living his life a quarter mile at a time, um, and then winning, but then not being cocky. Like he's learned this lesson from the first one, like you don't like you won't know what happens unless you give people a chance the way he gave Brian a chance. Now he's letting people keep his cars, which, kind of, he's grown up from who he used to be in the first one, where he took Brian's his keys and basically, you owe me a car. Um, um, so he's definitely changed, but I mean, he went from, I don't know. Okay, so this is one of my gripes with the movie. Is kind of like, we can accept that this is like a 007 movie on nitrous, on Nas. And, but like the one thing, it's like, how did Dom go from like this dude with daddy issues who beat a dude with a wrench and did time for that? That's why he went to jail. It's because he almost killed someone with a wrench, to like this super criminal mastermind. Or sometimes he's good, or sometimes he's an outlaw, but he's with the law, and this and that, whatever. So he jumps in back and forth between good and, Robin Hoodie. Um, so he did time for almost killing someone with the wrench, but now he's matching wits and planning just as good, heists with his friends. And then, like, yeah, it's the team, but it feels like he's always one step ahead of anyone. And it's like, if he's always one step ahead of everyone, why did he go to jail for killing someone with the wrench? Because he talked about his daddy. I don't know. But that whole daddy stuff kind of comes back because, surprise, surprise, the big twist of the movie is that Dom's a dad, and he has a kid with one of the characters from Fast Five, the Brazilian cop lady he dated while Letty was like sort of dead, but not really, because anyone could come back if you don't see a body. But so he has a kid with her, and they're kind of blackmailing him, and that's the thing. Turn on the, what's the thing that, the team can't handle? It's you. So, yeah, which is completely all right. So, what am I like? The reason I'm thinking this through is because I don't know. It kind of like feel like Fast had a villain problem, and then the the brothers came, and was it Owens was okay, Luke Shaw, but then Jason Statham's character on the last movie, he's a complete badass. Like he fucks up the Rock, he sends him to the hospital. Like, that he jumped when he fucking hits, like falls from the building, and so all this crazy shit happens. And okay, so Jason Statham's the bad guy, and he's a good bad guy. You figure like, oh, like maybe he's a recurring bad guy, and everything they set up on the last one, they just strip it on this one. And it's like, wait, sometimes bad guys have to be bad because of, some external motivation. So, you know, and he's cool with them now, which is weird. Like they kind of have this mutual respect. All right, so I just thought of this. Statham killed Hans, but now he's sharing a table with the family, and kind of Hobbs is cool with them, even though they kind of go back and forth, but they have some bromance thing to them. I don't know. It was kind of a weird way to bring in Jason Statham into the fold. It's like, well, he worked as a villain, but he's kind of a name, so now let's bring him into the franchise and kind of make him a staple, or maybe. And then, which is, I'm just thinking about that now. It's like, yo, remember that guy Hobbs? Or no, Hans? The guy from Tokyo Drift, who was also your guys' homie, and he dated, kind of had a thing with Gal Gadot. Yeah, this dude killed him, but hey, he saved your son, so forgive and forget, whatever. Yeah, so that's one thing. What the fuck? But but Jason Statham had one of the coolest scenes, um, with the baby, and everyone who's seen this movie, I mean, it was fucking weird, just because we've never had a tonally a scene like that where Statham is just basically killing people with a baby, kind of carrying a baby around, which reminds you of Vin Diesel's pacifier. I don't know. It was kind of a crazy scene, you could say, but whatever. It was cool because it was like tonally different. There was like, it was just Statham in a plane shooting bad guys with having a back and forth with a baby, and the baby kind of like smiling and shit, and seeing the perspective of the baby, listening to music, back to Statham, back to killing guys. Definitely a weird scene. Comedic, it worked. I don't know, it was funny. Um, I feel like this time it's like, hey guys, we gotta match the action with as many puns, as many one-liners. Every character could get. Hobbs needs one-liners to tell Statham. Everyone needs liners to tell to Scott Eastwood's new character, the little nobody. Give Kurt Russell some fucking one-liners. Let him be suave. Hey, Helen Mirren, give her. She's in it for 2 minutes. Give her some funny shit. I don't know. I feel like everyone was like written to be kind of like either funny or quippy or quick, and like Tyrese always up to something, and I don't know. Charlize Theron worked as a bad guy, but she's almost like this psychologist telling Dom, like, you're not doing it for the family, you're doing it for yourself. You're living one quarter of life at a time. I've been looking at you. I'm a hacker. I know what I'm doing. I don't know. And then at the end, he outsmarts her because, I mean, some street racer who started, lifting truck drivers and beating up with people were rich. Now he's like the ultimate badass. He's hanging in with the best of them. The government respects him. He's got the love of his life. And now he has a kid. So that's where we're at. Fast 8. Um, I don't know. You could see that, there's a lot of crazy shit. Oh, oh shit. And I didn't even forget that there was a scene with Hobbs where he's coaching a soccer team. Little league, like a girls soccer match, and they're doing traditional Hawaiian, or not Hawaiian, fucking, I'm sorry, Samoan dancing, to fucking, to neutralize, to fuck with the opponent's heads. It's like when The Rock started, he just used to give everyone the people's eyebrow, and like that was a gimmick. So it's like, hey, he's a tough badass, but he loves his kids, but he also takes no shit, and he's also in the right side of the law. Oh, and he plays by his own rules. Fuck, I don't know, dude. Scott Eastwood was cool though, because I feel tonally he was kind of Brian. In like, well, he started in the first one, he's like, a dork kind of, because he was like, hey, look at like this dorky white dude trying to, race cars and hang with, with some street racers from East LA, and and that's what Scott Eastwood was like. I'm some dorky FBI agent. I play by the book, and I don't know what I'm saying, so I get put on walls, and but then like in the middle of it, well, what the thing is, he had no friends and he had nothing. He was just kind of like hanging out with them, and then, oh well, they're a family, oh, they get shit done. He's just like, he breaks the wall, and he's like, free for all, guys, do your thing. Kind of what Brian Brian, Point Break, really. Fast and Furious 1 is basically a Point Break remake. We won't get into that. Whatever. I'm ranting, guys, at this point. Fast 8, entertaining movie. Not the best in the series. I don't know. I kind of ranted a lot because it's kind of like what Age of Ultron was, and not to compare, yeah, obviously apples and oranges, but it's like Vin Diesel completely like wrecks shit, fucks everything up. The way like Tony is like a bunch of self-made problems, and then they've caused all this destruction and all this mayhem, and at the end they'll look at each other like, so that happened, but we're family, so we're gonna just look past it. You didn't like take our cars out of the road and it span 10 times, and I probably broke a rib, and my arm's fucked up, or I could have died. Everyone's just kind of like, well, whatever. And now they're fucking with nukes. There's like, now they're saving the world. It's not like it's not cartels. It's not, they're not fucking with like cartels or hackers or, government spying on you now. They're literally, if they fail, nukes are going off. World War III is going to start. So, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Upping the ante. So, I mean, what do they say next? The galaxy? What can they, like, where do you go from here? I don't know. That's for the writers to find out. But, just like Brian, I feel like Vin Diesel's going to have to retire. And he's a father now. Does he keep doing the shit he's doing, risking his life, putting his kid on the line? Or does he finally settle down and stop living a quarter life at a time? Who knows? Who knows? So we'll see where they go from here. Overall, okay movie. Watchable. Summer. Popcorn flick. Cool. Guys, check it out. Please subscribe. Sorry for the rant. I almost went for 15 minutes. Whatever. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Subscribe. It's time to get back into the show.